And when I looked in the mirror, I literally just was shocked because I was covered from head to toe with scrapes, bruises.
I thought I was ugly. I thought I was unworthy. I thought I was dumb.
I thought he would hurt her, kill her, maybe have a weapon with him.
If you truly believe that you're going to die, that your mother's going to die, you'll do anything to survive.
We are dealing with families here, and that means protecting the women, and it means protecting the kids, and it means that the two things are connected.
I met Herb, and I heard the words, I love you, and I loved it, because I never heard that from my parents. He literally swept me off my feet. We got married on Valentine's Day. I was beat up the night of our marriage, our wedding night. I found out I was pregnant in March, and that's when the hell really started.
Child welfare and child abuse and neglect specialists tend to deal with the kids' issues on one hand, and domestic violence specialists and advocates tend to deal with the women's issues. There's a real failure to trust that either party is really concerned about something that they both have in common, violence in a family.
I went to a women's resource center, and the person that was talking to me at that point was just made me feel dirty, made me feel that it was my fault.
The worst thing that can be said, and it's a lot of people's first reaction, I don't know why you stay. And that really will shut down a possible contact, because the woman's going to feel like you don't have a clue of what I'm going through and you don't understand, and I can't go to you for help.
I never went for help after that. Never. Never.
We shouldn't look at the victim and say, why do you stay? We should look at the offender and say, why do you do what you do? I knew at the age of 5 that I wanted to be a police officer. My first lessons in officer survival were taught to me in my front yard by my stepfather fighting the police. He was a very, very violent man. He was an alcoholic. We were certainly physically abused to the extreme. I wanted to be a force to stop the violence. To be removed from my mother in the middle of all of this would have been the absolute worst thing that could have happened. Not only did we as sisters and brothers take care of each other to survive, we also took care of her too. If my mother had been the offender, I think maybe it would have been different, but she certainly wasn't. She was our protector. She stayed in violence all those years, for the most part, because she truly believed that if she left, he would track us down and kill us.
I give you 4 reasons. One of them, hope. Hope that things will be changed and that he will be better. Love, because I love him and I love my daughter very much, and I didn't want her to grow without her father. The other one was fear. Fear to confront myself to a society that I didn't know, different culture. And the other one was shame.
You're talking about situations in which there's all kinds of subtle and overt control going on in the house. Everything from not being able to answer the phone to having what you wear decided for you, being told you look terrible, a lot of things that are real blows to self-esteem.
We're going to have a lovely day today. We came to the United States on August 89. Patricia was 8 months by that time. My English was really broken. I didn't know that there were places that I could go. So I tried basically to solve the problem on my own. I would try to hide in a room with her or keep Patricia away from the violent moment.
My dad pushed my mom off the bed, and I was trying to get a little help to her, and he was pushing me back so I didn't get close to her.
One of the things that happens with children who witness it, and it happened with me, was that there's a real hopelessness about all of this. You want to help, but you can't. You want to intervene, but you can't. You want to stand between your mother and the offender, and you can't.
And there comes Patricia!
I realized if anybody knew my situation and that my daughter was exposed to that, I knew that they would take her away. And that was one of my biggest fear.
Why would a woman who's a victim of domestic violence call Child Protective when they know that the children are going to be punished by being removed from the home? To look at a family that suffers domestic violence and say we're going to take part of this family and offer protection seems to be a real injustice. And I'm not sure how it can work.
We need to, as professionals in both fields, pay attention to the treatment and support needs for mothers and kids in those situations, and not just helping them to get safe, but helping them to deal with the consequences of the violence that they've experienced in their lives.
His eyes were blue, but that night I remember they were black. They were cold, cold, like that he was possessed. The anger and the rage. He was throwing me up against the wall, strangling me, punching my face, throwing me on the floor. And I had taken Ryan out of the crib. Herb went to hit me again, and then hit Ryan in the eye, in the mouth, and then I knew I had to get out.
If we hold moms responsible in those situations, we're asking them to be accountable for someone else's actions, and that they have no control over.
I had a restraining order, and then Herb would leave just before the police came.
Let me tell you something, you scumbags. I will have your both of you mother. All right? You don't push me to the wall. No way do you push me to the wall.
Ryan disclosed at the age of 3 that his father on visitation was sexually abusing him. When I began to undress him, he took his little hand and started screaming and crying, and he said, "Mommy, Mommy, Mommy, Daddy put a white shark up my tush. I don't want to go with Daddy anymore. Please, please." And he was hysterically crying, and I just went into outer space. I mean, my worst fears had come true. This is just showing you all the times I went into court and nothing was ever done. The system failed Ryan back in 1983, 84, 85, 86.
You have to be there to really understand the fear of people going to the courts. Your life, your private life, is exposed to dozens of people there that you don't know, and they look at you like you have 5 heads. It's really shameful.
What we forget about is that not only are the people from different ethnic and cultural groups, but that there are immigrants, legal and illegal, that there are people whose history of race and oppression and discrimination in this country makes them not necessarily wanting to engage in a system that uses the police as part of the strategy.
Until we send a clear message that to victims that there's a unified effort, that everybody is on the same sheet of music, everybody's concerned about you and your children's safety. Until we do that, victims are not going to call us because they don't trust us. Because what we're asking a victim to do when they call and report domestic violence is we're asking them, take your life and put it in our hands. Not only for that moment, but for days and days and months and sometimes years after that. If they don't trust us, then they're not going to call us, and I don't blame them.
Family members said maybe if I have a baby, he will change because of the baby. Well, believe it or not, I believe that too. This time I was really afraid for my daughter because she was a little bigger now and she could understand.
I thought he would hurt her, kill her, maybe have a weapon with him to like stab her or something. I was very scared at the time.
He tried to hit me with a bat, baseball bat, and Patricia got in the middle. So he was about to hit her. From that moment, and I said, no way.
Leaving a violent relationship is a process. It takes time, it takes courage.
You're asking somebody to make changes in every piece of their life all at once. Change your means of support, change where you live, change where your children go to school, change who you get help from, change who you go to the doctors with, change how you live your life from soup to nuts. That may, in fact, be what's needed ultimately. But when you're leaving a situation like that, you can't possibly be anything but overwhelmed by the thought of doing all those things. Baby successes and baby steps, I think, make all the difference in the world.
Hello, this is Rosa. How can I help you? You never completely heal. You know, this is a facility that will give you shelter for you and your kids. Like every time I reach out to any of these women, it's like somebody touching me. When I really get ready to help anybody, I feel like I'm giving them what I was supposed to be receiving, but I didn't.
We really do have the power to save a person's life. Not only a police officer, but a child protective agent, a judge, a prosecutor, a social worker. I mean, we really underestimate our power.
We just need to be really patient with each other and know that, you know, every step along the way in collaboration isn't going to be a joyful one, that we'll make mistakes and we'll make them together and we'll both make them, we'll all make them, but that it's a very doable thing.
We're a happy family with a place we can make us anything. One